evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Wednesday, March 29, 2023. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. Authorities to reassign state land from overseas holders who exploit small farmers. British Chamber launched to foster stronger economic ties with Guyana. St. Lucia offers Guyana assistance in tourism and hospitality sector. NDC'S Lorry purchased in senior official's name. And government revising log export policy, says BHARRAT. Now for the news in detail. Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa has sounded a warning against the subletting of state lands in the Mahaika-Maikoni-Abari Agricultural Development Authority, noting that overseas-based holders of these lands are exploiting local farmers by charging exorbitant prices for their usage. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael reports.
The Ministry of Agriculture had issued a public announcement reminding that it is illegal for persons who have leased land from the government to sublet them to a third party unless written permission is sought and granted. The ministry noted, however, that the subletting of leased land in the MMA-ADA scheme is rampant, with overseas-based holders of land leases charging local farmers as much as $30,000 per acre, a move which has driven up the cost of production. As such, the Agriculture Ministry is advising all farmers interested in accessing land to do so through the MMA, ADA, and pay just $3,500 per acre in both land rental and drainage and irrigation rates. The ministry has also revealed that the MMA board is now doing an audit of land leased to overseas persons with the view of reassigning those lands belonging to persons who are exploiting small farmers in Region 5. Weighing in on the issue during an engagement with the media earlier this month, Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa had sounded a warning to persons guilty of breaking the law in this regard.
There are a number of people who have leases and they are overseas. There are a number of people who have leases and they are subletting the land. And when they end up in problems, they come into MME. For example, I met a number of farmers this morning who would have made in the personal agreement with people. And when the agreement runs sour, they come in now to MMA to deal with the matter. It's very unfortunate for us.
Minister Mustafa said that on many occasions, the authorities do not have knowledge of the agreement. Nevertheless, the minister assured that the government is doing everything possible to reduce operational costs for farmers.
Poor farmers, small farmers, who are renting small acres of land from other big farmers, they are paying exorbitant fees. Some are paying $20,000. Some with 30,000, you understand? And then now when you look at it, the cost of production gone up. You understand? And all those things have to come out from the farmer's earnings. Now when you look at an acre, for example, coming up almost 105,000, 110,000 cost of production. And when the farmer selling paddy, they're getting 100,000, so you're getting less.
It had been reported that an additional 10,000 acres will become available in the MMA ADA scheme for rice cultivation. Farmers to benefit from this include those who are renting, cultivating, and who would have submitted applications. Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
The British Chamber of Commerce has been launched in Guyana, continuing a trend of increased collaboration between the two countries. According to Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips, this new chamber will foster stronger economic ties with Guyana. Here are the details from Gerald Bryan.
The launch of the British Chamber of Commerce Guyana occurred on Tuesday evening during a reception at the British High Commissioner's residence. It comes only days after British Airways made its inaugural flight to Guyana, and months after visa restrictions were removed for Guyanese visitors to the United Kingdom. According to Prime Minister Retired Brigadier Mark Phillips, the launch of the British Chambers will help foster stronger economic ties with Guyana.
The establishment of BritCham represents another important development in fostering stronger and closer economic ties between Britain and Guyana. These economic bonds build on the strong ties of history and shared interests between Britain and Guyana. The launch of BritCham solidifies the economic partnership between Great Britain and Guyana. From our perspective, It is also a recognition of the growing interest in our country's rapidly growing economy and the growing trade and investment between Great Britain and Guyana.
Meanwhile, also present was UK's Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State for the Americas, David Rutley. He noted that there is mutual interest on both Guyana and the UK's part to advance their bilateral relationship.
And meeting with the President today, it was really clear to me that he has really high ambitions, like we do, in how we can take this relationship forward. Of course, there are growth opportunities, but our relationship is built on shared values, it's built on shared history often, and on people-to-people relationships, family often. So together, we can do a huge amount of other things. I'm very proud to be here today for many, many reasons, but particularly to be able to help launch this amazing Chamber of Commerce at a key moment in time. It's a logical time for this to launch.
In addition to the British Chamber of Commerce, Guyana also has chambers of commerce with Canada and the US. Talks are ongoing to establish an EU Chamber of Commerce. Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News.
With Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce Onij Walrond currently in St. Lucia for an official visit, it is expected that the two countries would develop a twin tourism package, as St. Lucia has offered assistance to Guyana in tourism and hospitality. Jarrell Bryan joins us again with the details.
During the ceremony to mark British Airways' first flight to Guyana on Monday evening, Tourism Minister Onij Walrond had spoken of her impending visit to St. Lucia. She explained that both countries have attractive tourism options for their citizens to enjoy. As such, Walrond said that there is an opportunity for the two countries to work closely with each other.
The introduction of this flight also represents opportunities for partnerships. This evening, as I leave for St. Lucia, reciprocating the support that our St. Lucian family are showing us here today, we will examine while there opportunities for greater collaboration that may arise from sharing this route. For not only does this flight open travel between the UK and our respective nations, but it also presents opportunities for travel between St. Lucia and Guyana as we seek to boost our interregional tourism. For example, we have additional options for Guyanese wishing to experience the St. Lucia Jazz Festival. Similarly, we would actively promote our local events such as the Rupununi Rodeo and the Cricket Carnival to the St. Lucia market. Recognizing this potential, we have begun tourism twinning with St. Lucia, combining two distinct appealing experiences and bringing the best of two worlds into one package.
St. Lucia's Minister of Tourism, Dr. Ernest Hillary, was also present in the audience at the ceremony. With St. Lucia's renown as a tourism destination, Hillary noted that there is much his country can share with Guyana on the sector.
St. Lucia has a lot that it can share with Guyana as it relates to tourism and hospitality. We are the world's leading destination for honeymoons and the Caribbean leading destination for adventure. But when you speak of adventure, I don't know that anywhere in the Caribbean can match what Guyana can offer. So we've developed a product in St. Lucia, and we certainly look forward to working with you. We've met with your minister, and I'm sure under the leadership of your minister, Guyana tourism will go very, very far.
Guyana is already working in collaboration with Barbados to twin the two countries' tourism products and to share best practices for the sector. Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News.
The Agriculture Ministry today signed several contracts totaling $1.13 billion for several projects to advance the government's agricultural agenda through capital projects at various agencies. Luana McAllister tells us more.
During yet another contract signing ceremony at the Ministry of Agriculture on Wednesday, it was revealed that of the $1.13 billion, $532 million will go towards the Guyana Sugar Corporation. The National Drainage and Irrigation Authority will receive $504 million. The Guyana Marketing Corporation will get $1 million. The Mahaika Maikoni Abari will receive $27 million. And the Fisheries Department will get $15 million.
Let us ensure that the project commences on time. Let us do it to the standard that is in the contract. Let us ensure that we abide with all the rules. Let us also ensure that we do it in the stipulated time. that is provided in the contract document so that everyone will be satisfied.
That was Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa speaking to the media following the signing of the contracts. He further expressed the need to continue to work to improve food security in the country and expanded on several projects lined up to do so.
One of the most important things of our government is food security, and we are working very seriously to enhance production on those traditional crops, those traditional activities, and at the same time we are going into new areas. We started the corn and soya. We have seen increase. I just met with a group of investors. They will start by November, almost 3,000 acres of corn and soya to complement what we have been doing at the Tacoma Savannah with the consortium that we have formed there. We'll see increase in shade house activities around the country. We have that with the young people in Manripo and other parts of the country. And in the livestock industry, you'll see a revolution. We have started embryo transplant. We have a company from Brazil. Now we're doing embryo transplant in 300 of the animals that we have at Ibini. The artificial insemination that we have started will increase, and we have increased that last year, and that will continue this year. And also last year, we have seen a tremendous increase in our swine production.
For the evening news, I am Lawanda McAllister.
Coming up, Mabaruma father of 4 beaten to death and draft legislation on electric bikes awaiting cabinet's approval, says AG. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe. Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe.
It's the big taste you love. Devon Big Six for when you want more. Devon Big Six, the biggest 6 in Guyana. More chocolate, more custard, more value. Devon Big Six. Put a smile on your face.
Thousands of hinterland residents will soon have access to world-class healthcare services right in their communities. Some $125 billion is being invested in the upgrade of hospitals in Lethem, Kato, Madia, Port Kaituma, Bartica, Mabaruma, and Maruka. Improved healthcare is just one of many ways oil revenues will be used to support developmental.
Are you a sports fan? Place your sport betting bets today for your chance to win up to $15 million per coupon. Visit any agent near you or www.superbet.gy and place your bets. Must be 18 years and older. Terms and conditions apply. Play responsibly. Superbet, your best bet.
It was a long car ride home, and Kyla started to crave the all-natural Ripples Crunch. Ah yes, that was all she could think about. She thought she was dreaming, but it seemed so real. Daydream or not, the craving still hit, and she couldn't wait to rip into it. Sunshine Snacks Ripples Chips. Rip into 100% real potato goodness.
Sunshine Snacks Ripples. Rip into real potato.
Mobile lubricants is more than just oil. It's many oils. The blends of oil give you higher mileage. Choose from your advanced synthetic blend or conventional. It is the best oil for your engine.
Mobile lubricant is the best oil for newer engineering of engines. Newer engines are much more close tolerance. Thus, this oil has a variety of grades and build-up properties to suit these engineering. Mobile lubricant keeps the engine oil seals in a uniform order and condition. Mobile lubricants withstand longer drain intervals. Why is this? Mobile lubricants has a very high detergent in its oil, and once fully synthetic oil is used, we can achieve this.
So, whatever is your engine needs, choose Mobile Lubricants. Proven performance for your engine.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. A 38-year-old man of Whitewater, Mabaruma, Region 1, has succumbed to injuries he received less than 24 hours after he was badly beaten by another villager. Dead is Aaron Conyers, a father of 4, who worked as a wildlife trader. Reports are that Conyers was at a shop at Blackwater Landing on Monday evening, consuming alcohol when he got into an argument with the owner of the establishment. During the argument, Conyers was badly beaten with a piece of wood. The man then went home, but later in the night, he started to bleed through his mouth and nose. He was taken to the Mabaruma Hospital, where he died on Tuesday while receiving medical attention. Investigations are ongoing. Vanu Manakchand joins us now to report that, in light of the mounting concerns regarding the use of electric bikes on the country's roadways, the Guyana government is moving to amend the current legislation in order to regularize this new mode of transportation, which has a growing presence across the country. Here is more.
Given the influx of electric bikes in Guyana, Attorney General and Legal Affairs Minister Anil Nandal has disclosed that increased complaints are pouring in from various stakeholders on the danger these cycles pose on the local roadways.
We have received complaints wide and far that these electric cycles are being used in a manner dangerous to the public, that they present a traffic hazard, that the persons who are riding these cycles are not equipped with helmets or any other protective gear, that they are riding recklessly, and it is a dangerous situation.
Currently, there are no laws in Guyana to govern the use of electric bikes. However, the Attorney General disclosed that steps have been taken to amend the relevant laws in order to regularize the use of these bikes.
The government has decided to bring a regulatory framework into place to address the manner in which these electronic bikes or electric bikes are going to operate on our public roadways. So amendments to the traffic laws and or regulations are already in draft for government's approval, and once they're approved, the procedure will have to be followed for them to be promulgated and become enforceable.
Only last month, the Guyana Revenue Authority said it was working along with sister agencies such as the Guyana Police Force regarding the requirements for importation, registration, licensing, and related liability insurance for electric bikes. The police force has since embarked on a sensitization campaign to educate persons on the danger of these bikes on the roadways. Moreover, the police has called on persons under the age of 16 to desist from riding these bikes. On February 17, a teenager, Bibi Safia Mohammed, a 17-year-old resident of Nonpareil, East Coast, Demerara, died after her electric bike collided with a truck on the Collagen Public Road.
We already have a traffic accident problem in this country. We already have a high incidence of road carnage. We have already passed legislation to deal with drunken driving and the way people or operators of bars are to conduct themselves. The need has arisen for us to make another change, and we are prepared to do so.
Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manakchand.
A lorry which was purchased by the Johns Port Morant Neighborhood Democratic Council was not purchased in the name of that entity, but rather as the private property of a senior official. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael reports that the vehicle, which is being used for garbage collection, was bought with the NDC's 2022 $3 million subvention from central government.
The lorry was registered on January 19, 2023 to an official of the Johns Port Morant Neighborhood Democratic Council, NDC. When contacted, the official said it was not purchased in his name. However, a copy of the vehicle's registration seen by the Evening News suggests otherwise. The official says he represents the NDC as a signing officer and noted that it was the Guyana Revenue Authority that made the mistake. However, he could not explain why after 2 months that mistake was not amended. It was only last week that it was discovered that the lorry was not in the name of the NDC, meaning that it was not their property. On Friday, regional officials instructed that there is a transfer and it goes into the NDC's name. That process started on Monday. However, we could not verify who will be paying the cost for the transfer. The Johns Port Morant NDC has been in the news for all the wrong reasons for several years. For example, in 2022 June, the overseer was fired, and that was for the second time after 24 allegations were leveled at the then overseer. It was the local government committee that fired the overseer. And in November of that year, the acting overseer was fired over unaccounted money. In November 2021, there was an investigation launched after the NDC had given permission for someone to build on government's reserve. In February this year, there was a probe launched into the NDC here after scores of part-time workers under the government part-time initiative were allegedly inappropriately hired by the NDC. From outside of the Johns Port Morant NDC under quarantine, for the Evening News, Andrew Carmichael.
The government of Guyana is continuing on its mission to improve the viability of the forestry sector through the export of secondary products rather than focusing primarily on raw materials. More in this Tasia Dickinson report.
What we have been doing is to revise our log export policy, and that is an ongoing process. But what happened too is that there is a special species that we call wamara, that there was a great demand, especially in the Chinese and Indian market, that we saw many of our wamara produce going towards those markets of recent. What we need to do too is to ensure that we create markets for value-added products too, because some stakeholders need to look or need to ensure that there is a market there for them, so that they can venture into the value-added as opposed to exporting logs only.
Natural Resources Minister Vikram BHARRAT during a recent broadcast program. He revealed that this strategy will ensure the sustainability of the sector, limiting deforestation by reducing the number of logs exported. He said it will also increase profits by enhancing the quality of wooden products sold on international markets.
We need to, at some point in time, move towards value-added and minimize the exploitation of raw timber or logs. We need to cut less trees, but to keep the sector viable. And how do we do that? By moving towards value-added. We can produce furniture for the entire CARICOM market. We can produce furniture that can find its way into the European market and the North American market. We can have logging communities in this country produce furniture for all the schools in this country. That is the kind of potential that we hold, but we have never moved towards realizing that potential.
Notwithstanding, the Guyana government continues to place heavy emphasis on value-added products in the forestry sector. In fact, in February, President Dr. Irfan Ali attended the launch of the Duravilla 1,000-plus modular homes project, which will see more than 1,000 prefabricated modular homes being sold to consumers locally, regionally, and internationally. Meanwhile, Minister BHARRAT noted that over 40,000 Guyanese are directly and indirectly employed in the forestry sector. Tasia Dickinson for the Evening News.
And now for a look at the Birch Reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Thursday, March 30th at 0 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Thursday, March 30th at 10 hours 55 for a period of 1.5 hours.
Republic Bank, new title sponsor of CPL, as game set for August 16 to September 24, and Joseph Charles rise in ICC rankings. Details of these stories and more in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Birch Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
John Lewis Styles has opened a new department, now offering home goods. Here you can find quality sheets and towels, pillows, blankets, and even bath mats and shower curtains. Organize your laundry with clothes baskets, fabric steamers, irons, and ironing boards. For the kitchen we have small appliances, towels and mittens, pot sets and dinner sets too. Decorate the house with mirrors, picture frames, floating shelves, and decorative pillows. All these and more on Waterloo Street. It's fashion for the home. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Yeah, ready? We are so far. Look along, me tell you, buy one generator. Now the picnic online test and blackout come on and cut off everything. Sorry, son. Radhika. Have you go tomorrow? Have you go now?
At Sylvie's, we stock products from more than 22 different sectors in mining, construction, food processing, vulcanizing, home improvements, and more.
Are you getting generator?
So this is a 3,000 better size generator. This will work for your lights, your fan, your TV, and your fridge.
Well, Abby can buy one for Abby and
Yes.
Abby can buy one for Mommy too.
Yeah, and mommy could even key start it, cause all you have to do is hook up the battery and
Visit us today at 31 High in Hatfield Street, where our friendly and knowledgeable team members are willing to assist you. You can also call us on 227-6243 or WhatsApp us on 623-7755 and shop via our website at www.sylviesonline.com.
Abby go buy one doll pouring mill?
One plucking machine, one pressure washing machine, one juice dispenser, one engine, one pepper grinding machine, one water pump, a sugar cane juicer, circle saw. We gotta get alright, then that food warmer. We gotta get. What are you looking at?